where they did like they did in the previous ones when it was on Comedy Central. There was the two episodes. The one was where they had the Futurama Saturday Cartoon Hour, where they parodied Scooby Doo. Um, I want to say Strawberry Shortcake and GI Joe. They did another episode like that where it was a bunch of toy advertisements, and so I thought that was kind of comical when it's all said and done. The final episode for season 11, I think it's season 11 or 10. I actually thought that one was pretty. It's one of those things. It was pretty serious and in some ways a little bit more, whatever you want to call it, considering it's a cartoon. You know, it's an adult animation as they call it. I thought it was a lot more than just cheap laughs and half-assery, to be perfectly honest, considering it deals with the existential question about whether or not, like, it talks about, are we in a simulation? And then the reality of is, does any of that make anything we experience less real? Blah, blah, blah. So overall, I thought the last season was good. It definitely was not the best season, but it was good. The best season, I think, would be the four movies they made if you can find the original unedited movies and not the shit that they put on Disney Plus. Should we really be trading our traditions for a bit of security? Listen to yourself. What are user traditions if you're not allowed to enjoy them? I mean, fair enough, but at the same time, there is a fucking limit. The last episode of the new season, yes, it is about simulation theory. And for anybody who might want to watch this later or is watching this now and they don't want to hear about it, I would advise you to maybe mute me, or if you want, uh, I can tell you a bit about what's going on. We don't get many visitors here. I'm not sure why you've come, but there's nothing much of interest here. Because basically, to sum up the episode without going into the details, which makes it more interesting, um, the professor creates a machine called the Simputron and creates a simulation of the Futurama crew. And they watch them, all this other stuff. And then Amy throws Bender under the bus and causes him to go through a whole identity crisis while she tries to dismiss the one that she initially created for everyone. And oh, don't have enough cat souls. I only have 154. That one needs 185. And so it talks about the idea, and one of them wants to prove it, and like I am deliberately being confusing and vague, so if you want to watch the episode, it will make more sense that way. And so the long and the short of it, though, is as usual, maybe not as usual, but to some degree, Fry is the one that comes out and makes a rather clarifying statement, and is the one that basically he gets to be the hero by soothing everybody's troubled mind. And that's not necessarily the end of the episode. There's a bit more to it than that, but that's all you're going to get out of me. Oh, calcite fragments. Oh, I didn't really realize. I did not even realize. Uh, that. Why does she hate it when you talk about simulation theory? Especially because it is just that. It is a theory. Hmm.
I can't deal with this anymore. more.
What's the matter?
Everyone's sick of all these fruit-flavored gels, right? So, I made gels using the giant cacao beans only found here on this island. It gave them a nice bitter chocolate taste. But people complained that they weren't avant-garde enough. Ugh, chocolate-flavored gels, how prosaic, bah! This got me fuming.
That's fucking
so
pretentious.
I caught some maiden bonita fish you find around here, ground them up, and made some gels with them.
You put fish into chocolate gels?
Excuse me.
Well, people do braise meat with chocolate. Chocolate and fish may go surprisingly well together.
Exactly! It was the discovery of a century. The bonito flakes crunchiness and the gel's gumminess made for an exquisitely bad combo, which made it interesting.
So if you made an innovative new type of gel, why are you so angry?
That's exactly my problem. I outdid myself. Now I need to make my Gels World debut as amazing as they are. So I thought up the ultimate plan.
And
Oh
that
boy.
is-
I'll put my Choconito gels in toilets all over the world. I'll call it the Great Choconito Toilet Gambit. No one will go to the bathroom without finding my gels. Everyone will have a lot of fun. So, genius, right?
Yeah, it's weird, but I think
Jesus.
it's funny too.
Right.
Right? I knew that kids would get it.
Who's a kid?
But all the adults in my village called it silly and lowbrow. They forbade me from selling my Choconito gels at all. Isn't that just horrible?
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Aw, man. Things used to be so much better. Mom would make me dinner, and all I had to do was goo 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 ga, and everyone would smile and praise me. I don't want to become the kind of grown-up who can't find any fun in looking for gels in toilets.
I suppose I can see that. Gels belong in the toilet. You agree with me, right? No. No. Just no. Because the reality of it is that especially when it comes to scientific existence theories, like, are we in a simulation? While we don't have any way to prove that more than anything else, there is a distinct possibility that that might be the more realistic answer. This is bad. Another day I've come home empty-handed. You used to cast a couple nets and come back with a full boat. How could this be happening? But it was one of those things I got to talking specifically about that episode. And that with a friend in that, and I said it's a situation where even if it is a realistic whatever, and somehow we are in a simulation for whatever reason, or whoever's boring idea this was, it doesn't negate the fact that our consciousness is real, our experiences are real. What we have, do, experience, say, blah blah blah, is all real. So that's all we really need. Even if our consciousness is a simulation based off of explains the speed of light as far as I've read, and it's the only thing that does so. Well, but yeah, even if we're simulated, our consciousnesses are simulated of somebody else's consciousness, whatever. The fact of the matter is, when you boil it down to it, it's real to us. That's what matters. So, at least from my perspective, that's all that matters, because truth be told, I don't give a shit one way or the other anymore. Why should I? Check. Turn a silver coin. Mellow fluid. And
We could use a place to stay. Any rooms open?
Yep. Just finished cleaning, in fact. You can help yourself to that room there.
All right, time to start deciphering this scroll.
Let's wait somewhere outside so Grim can concentrate.
Do you think maybe I could stay and watch? I really do want to study the ancient tongue. I promise I'll be quiet and not get in your way, teacher.
What did you just say, child?
That I'd be quiet and...
No, what did you call me?
Teacher? You said you didn't want to be called ma'am, so I